Oh, no! That is delicious. I had to end that sip late. You know what? I just popped my shoulder doing this.
Did you really?
Dancing. Yeah. I was like,
Behind the scenes, they're doing.
It's like old people injuries.
oh,
You
geez,
just
I might
popped your shoulder watching you dance.
just doing this, and then I went, ow, wow. That's how I'm getting. Not getting old. It's just
You are getting old.
No. That's not what it is. I just generally suck at life.
Welcome. We have T-shirts.
Welcome to the party, pal. You're gonna die.
It's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, it sounds like a Netflix walkout. So we have a lot to get to today. Before we move on with this, we have some breaking news from what is it? The NIH? Is it?
Yeah. So the
well, don't go through it yet. But it's
not
from
yet.
where?
It's from the Health and Human Services. So Department of Health and Human Services. It's an official letter to a congressman.
By the way, spoiler alert: Fauci lied. Also, Rachel Levine. We're going to talk about. I touched on it briefly yesterday, and people said, "Wait, expand on that." And this is really important. I think a lot of people have missed this. They didn't remember. We were always taught that gender and sex were different. That's basically the foundation for all modern gender theory, and it is modern, and it is bullcrap. Well, they never planned on sticking with that argument because they didn't say first woman, first girl, first dame, first broad, 4-star admiral. They said first female.
What?
Yeah.
And all the smug change my mind students and people on the street go, oh, you don't know the difference between sex and gender? Well, you know what? We'll walk through that today. Also, sure enough, Pete Buttigieg's lying.
Oh.
Yeah, about the economy. About the economy, about all the blockages and shortages.
There's no blockage.
So, by the way, we're going to, Dave Landau is going to be here in the chair.
Oh.
And he's
Ahoy.
I wasn't introducing him yet, the
Oh.
quarterback Garrett. I was going to tell a
just pointing
story.
at him.
Oh, story. Well,
Anyway,
you
he's
are
going to be in
pointing.
Tampa all weekend, this weekend. All
Yeah.
weekend if you're in Florida, in Tampa, Dave Landau. But first, Gerald A., how are you?
I am well. How are you, sir?
I got a thing, but I don't think it's the COVID. I think it's something that I actually feel.
Can I say go Irish? I'm going to the game, baby.
Are you really?
Yeah, USC.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Quarterback Garrett,
Yo,
how are
what's
you?
going on? What's going on?
Yeah, well, look, he looks like a hoodlum today. Is that what it is?
Ready to get
Oh.
some Levi's.
You look more like
That's what I'm waiting for.
Wu-Tang era. Yeah, you got it wrong by a couple of decades.
Hey,
Hold
what are
on.
you talking
No
about?
self-respecting black man steals Levi's.
What are you talking? You don't
what
know
are you
what you're
talking
You are
about, bro?
so white, you have no idea what you're talking about.
I do too. Levi's. Come
What
on,
do you
comment.
What do you think? Lil
Comment.
Nas is wearing Wranglers.
I'm not
They're
doing
doing something. other than
Dumbass.
I'm not doing the
Levi's.
lower third.
They got
Dumbass.
guys at Macy's.
He thinks Drake's in lowest jeans.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it's not in
Lululemon.
Moscow on the Hudson. It's 2021.
Come on,
You
Levi's?
ain't black.
Trying to pick
Levi's and
something out of
Nikes.
touch.
Come on.
Dave Landau here again in Tampa. How are you?
Ahoy. I'm good. Tampa this weekend, like you said. I can't complain.
Oh,
I'm
well,
all right. Got a long trip of shows going.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You don't and avoid that super cold. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
I have.
The super cold, the worst cold ever now, is coming around this year.
Well, fortunately, I'm not vaccinated, so I feel like I'm vaccinated against it.
Yes.
A little bit.
You retained your own natural immune system. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's what I was going to say. It's almost a synonym.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, at this point. So.
And are we going to do the first before we go? Because
Yeah.
we are confirming this letter to a congressman really quickly. Big news, just breaking this morning. If you're watching right now, this is October 21st. So first, before that, this happened. A police dog in the Netherlands. Now, were the police, they were fighting protesters? Were they lockdown protesters?
I don't know the nature of the protest.
Okay.
I just thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, well, because look, in European countries and in
Yeah.
Nordic countries and in Australia, generally speaking, the police there are actually enforcing fascist rules of the state.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's always fun to see when they get theirs, but in this case, it's a police dog from the Netherlands police handlers. We apologize for the low quality. We couldn't find the original, but we couldn't pass it up. But it doesn't go quite as he expected. There's the dog. He's like, got the protesters? And then we'll go to a coffee shop.
He made the mistake of yelling. He's backing off.
He's backing
Yes,
off.
I love it. He's like, no, go attack them.
yeah.
the dog-
This pooch knows the aggressor.
Go attack.
Look, the dog doesn't even consider attacking the people,
Okay,
but here it
all
goes. Look,
Takes him down.
Oh, no, both. Now he's on him, but look, he doesn't let him go. Now the panic sets in. Look, he's panicking.
What do I do?
What is the word?
Oh no! Medical marijuana will not ease this pain.
I love that. I
love
love
it.
that pooch.
He tries to stick about the protester. He's like, no, I'm taking you down.
He's just accidentally screaming a safe word over and over again.
No, Bitenhausen, he's testiclausen.
Hey, last day for the promo code, by the way.
Oh, $20 off
wow,
Mug Club. If you're watching there on
Nice
Rumble,
day.
$20 off at lotoscredit.com/Mug Club. You know what? If we get enough people
Bite
who
like
join,
hell.
I'll try and get Joe Lewis to bite me. Isn't that right, Joe Lewis?
I don't think he would.
No.
He's, oh, come
No.
No.
He's only
not too
he
aggressive.
actually is only he did it yesterday to my dad by accident because my dad made the mistake of bouncing a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and then my dad
yeah.
tried to catch it.
No.
And I was like, "What are you doing, you moron? Do you have any idea?" It looked like the Great White National Geographic
Yeah.
special where he unhinges his jaw, and he went for the ball, and he was actually still gentle. Once he realized my dad, like 5 feet up in the air, he realized my dad had the ball. He kind of like, "Oh, let go." But I was like, "Dad,
Yeah.
you're lucky you still have an arm."
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have just
pretty
marched
dumb.
down.
He's
Your
the
dad's a
best.
smart guy, and that was a dumb thing
That was
to
a
do.
dumb thing to do. Dad, I love you, but that was stupid.
I'm kind of retarded.
Anyway, my question for you, little facetious, but not really. How thrilled are you to have your first female 4-star admiral? Do you feel proud? Do you feel safe?
The
There it
few, the proud.
The few, the proud,
Very few.
the cockless.
The
The
day.
dig- the whatever that is.
Yes.
Your guess is good.
In the army without your balls, you can. All right,
we
you
don't
have.
know. Maybe they still have.
No, 90% don't go through with the bottom surgery.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we can assume in this case.
It's 3-card Monty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. So the Department of Health and Human Services. So there was a big thing, right? Fauci saying no,
This is breaking for people who are
no
watching
gain
it.
of
Yeah.
function
Was
research.
the big thing on her before?
No.
Yes. All right.
Poor choice of words.
All
you're
right.
correct.
Sorry. I didn't mean to.
So no, this
Weird
is
question.
big because Fauci had been grilled about doing gain of function research. He said, no, we're not doing gain of function research. And obviously, Rand Paul said, yep, actually you were. So this actually just came out, and I'm going to read a little bit. Yesterday, Rutgers University professor, Richard Ebrecht, I have no idea, obtained a letter from HHS, which revealed the NIH EcoHealth Alliance grant funded gain of research. So this was actually sent to a congressman, right? This is not some letter for that somebody just tried to randomly pull from somewhere, sent to a paper.
And to be fair, I guess this
Sent to a
kind of happened yesterday, but we've done our best to confirm it this morning. We do the best that we can, and it seems legitimate. Isn't it crazy that we might not even be? We could be removed from YouTube if we had brought this up.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's two claims. One is that you were doing gain-of-function research, right? You can prove that one way or the other. And two, that's what caused the coronavirus. Now, that's the part that you can't necessarily make the leap on yet, so we're not saying that. All this letter, I just want to sum it up. Oops.
Yeah.
That's basically what the letter says. Here's why. The letter claims the enhancement of the bat coronavirus was an unexpected result of research. Like, are you kidding me? What do you mean it's unexpected? And by the way, they had this in 2018. They had these documents. They reviewed them in 2020 and then in 2021 again. So that means that Fauci either knowingly lied or it was an omission in that testimony. So there's going to be more that comes out from this, I'm sure, as this letter kind of circulates. But I saw it this morning.
That's why he got so bitchy with Rand Paul. That's just what it looked like.
When
it was Rand Paul versus Fauci, it looked like two catty bitches.
Well, you knew about the gain-of-function research, didn't you? With all due respect, you're wrong. You shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth. I heard that you had sex with Tommy by the bike racks.
You shut your filthy whore mouth. I'll tell everyone about what you did with Skylar that time we were at the science fair.
That's a lie.
Mr. Hand.
Yeah.
This won't end.
Well, yeah, Rand Paul just felt that he did have the upper hand because, he was right.
He was correct.
Yeah.
He actually had facts.
It is key when
did know
looking
what
for
he
the
was
upper
talking
hand
about.
in an argument, be correct.
It's strange
Yeah,
how
you can
that
say.
works.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. Now, I know it doesn't matter with the media; they'll still carry your water for you. Hey, are they talking about this right now in the media? Oh no, this is where they're talking about Brian Laundrie, and not to say that the Petito case isn't
still talking about
tragic.
this?
Right.
Of course it is. But whenever you see them pull a story and start covering a story ad nauseum that really happens across the country with tragically. Tremendous regularity. It is a tragedy, and I wish that it didn't. But they're not covering national, because earlier this morning they were covering. I'm like, really? There's nothing going on that affects everyday Americans, that affects every single person's life. Well, you know what? Gain-of-function research in the coronavirus, which is
in the Wuhan lab.
Yeah, it's gotten its look. And this is also when they say, "Are you a scientist? Are you a doctor?" Well, there are scientists and doctors on both sides of the argument. However, all of the smart scientists at the EcoHealth Alliance in the Wuhan lab didn't have the ability to foresee what any person here who's ever seen a sci-fi film knows. Jurassic Park, the original Westworld, where when you scientifically engineer nature, it screws you.
Yeah.
You effectively, EcoHealth, you're the mayor in Jaws from Amityville. Listen, I'll be damned if I'm going to be closing down on the 4th of July.
I don't care if a shark ate a boy.
Yes, I don't care if this virus mutates and kills 3 million people. By God, we'll be celebrating Independence Day.
Well, the boy had AIDS, so it's fine that he got eaten.
Yeah,
Wear a mask. He's from Canada.
Oh, if he gets eaten, though, the beaches have to be closed.
Yeah, they have to.
The shark would then
Was
have
there
AIDS.
blood in the water?
Oh,
that's the problem.
It's shark luganus.
Come on. Come on, man.
For people who just missed yesterday's Mug Club, we watched the Captain Planet episode on AIDS, and it's as bad. It's why I was horribly misinformed about AIDS in my formative
It's fantastic.
You're sharing a drinking fountain with an AIDS boy. What?
You
Hey,
touched
him.
Don't touch me, man. You have AIDS. Wow.
Those were the real voices, too.
I know. We
every
thought it was
time.
Dave doing a voice, and it was like, no, did you hear what Tommy had?
He says, Tommy's got the AIDS. And the whole
AIDS.
Captain Planet episode, by the way, which of course was in line with the Fauci. Keep in mind when you're talking about the, was he with the NIH back then or National Infectious Diseases? Sorry.
Who knows?
I think so.
They were talking about, the whole episode was how it was worse to make fun of someone who has AIDS.
Yeah.
And there was no section about on how to avoid AIDS.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah.
I was like, so as a kid, you're like, well, why are they making fun of him? They don't make fun of me if I have a cold.
Right.
Why are they making fun of him with AIDS? And then if you read up, hey, how to not catch AIDS, you're like, ooh.
Oh yeah,
That's why.
they almost got there in the scene. I don't know if you caught that. He's like, "Well, if you don't, I'll spread rumors that you have AIDS and that you and Tom." And when he said that, he got cut off. And I
Yeah.
was like, "What
Yeah.
were you gonna say?" That
What
you
were
and
you
Tommy,
Speaking of cut off, there was the Netflix walkout.
Oh, nice. That
Oh,
was perfect.
that's a good segue.
Perfectly done.
Yeah. Also, one of them is riding a Segway, so there's that.
Oh,
Yes,
There's
well, of course.
That's an even
Remember
better
Monkey on a
segue.
Segway, that original viral video?
Yes.
Nothing compared to transgender on a Segway.
Oh, no, it's...
Oh, wow.
It's fantastic, especially when it involves a cliff.
I
So
hope it falls.
Like the creator.
So the Netflix employees, those.
Did he die on a Segway? I didn't mean to cut. Did
Yeah,
he
the
really?
guy who created the Segway died on a Segway.
died.
That is the best news I've ever heard.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is this real?
He was presenting. He was like, "Oh, look, this is what it can do. It can stop on a dime."
It's the future of transportation.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Right
Hold
off the
on.
side.
I like how they still sold. Like somebody was like, "Well, as long as we don't kill ourselves on it."
Right,
Yeah, well, as long as we don't go near cliffs, I think we're fine.
Still works, I guess.
Hey, can we actually compact it into a hoverboard and send one to Mike Tyson? I think that's going to have good results. All right. We do have to continue with this
That
really
was
quickly.
great.
So Netflix employees. Oh yeah, there you go. Segue. We see it.
There it is.
Netflix employees held a walkout. Let's bring that up later so I can show people the Mike Tyson. On
Maybe
the hoverboard.
afterwards.
Yes, we need to watch
They
it.
had the walkout in protest of Dave Chappelle. Here's a clip.
Many joined in support outside the company's Los Angeles headquarters.
We have a 8-year-old boy who's trans.
I think Dave,
doesn't know.
a funny person, needs
Child
to
abuse.
understand a little bit more about the jokes he's making.
Things got a bit
By the way, they
heated with
broke
some
the sign and accused him of having a
protesters
weapon.
also on
Yeah,
hand.
I saw that.
He's got a weapon. Talk about free speech and how I like comedy. They really don't like that.
Whatever.
Yeah, they tore down his sign that said something about jokes.
Yes.
They tore it down and go, he's got a weapon, because it was now just a stick.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he put it
Then they tried to
down.
mount it.
And that was a woman just now with the beard.
I
Yeah,
have
it's right
no-
there at
yes,
the end,
I have
yeah.
no idea.
No.
That was a
You know
female.
what? Sure.
We have an 8-year-old trans boy.
Yeah.
And then
Tell me that's not child. You know what? And this is considered more hateful than it is to allow an 8-year-old boy to make permanent sexual decisions. Hey, let me real quick. This is something I want everyone out there to. I've talked about this with the team. Change my mind, for example, is the Socratic method, asking people questions. If someone makes an argument, for example, about abortion, you say, well, why do you believe that? But then there is the fastest, the quickest path to, if you're just looking to, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
When someone says, well, 8 years old, of course they have the right to transition. Oh, okay. What's the age of sexual consent? All right, don't wait up, and you walk out.
Also, I'm sorry your 8-year-olds didn't enjoy Dave Chappelle's Netflix.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Why are you letting them watch a comedy special? Come on.
Well, just not that one.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's not Jeff Dunham,
yeah.
which you shouldn't watch if you want to laugh.
I particularly love it, though, when he has the old cranky.
Oh, Walter.
He's been in that case far too long.
He's in a mood.
If I were him, too, I'd be a little surly.
Yeah, I like the purple thing that's stupid.
Jeff, you mean?
Yeah. The guy.
Yeah, Jeff, when let's stop. Look.
He wears a leather jacket on stage.
All right, so the Netflix employees gave a list of demands, too, as you saw with that giant mass of people, including to create a new fund to specifically develop trans and non-binary talent. Well, hold on a second. I'm not really thinking that there's a lack of LGBTQ, AAIP, plus and another P here right now.
That's cool. We just want to ask you a question. Spanish been saying how you still got your dick. That true?
What you got between your legs is your business, and what I got is mine.
We should make the most of our time together.
Faggots.
What did you just say?
What did you say? Which one of you is the wife?
Just ignore
him.
It's me.
It's the 21st century, you fucking asshole.
You
Güey, ya calma tu conejita, cabrón. Ay, no mames. Ismael no es la conejita.
Jeez.
The Puerto Ricans from Seinfeld were the second one.
If we,
You don't want to wear the ribbon?
Yeah, if we say we are taking the amor, we are taking the amor. What are you going to do?
Actually, I know which one's the wife.
Yeah.
By the way, is it wrong that first off, no one would ever behave that way?
Yeah.
But it was also pretty funny.
It was pretty funny, yeah.
I was like, hey, what'd you say? Which one's the one? He just doubles down. I get that we're all supposed to be horrified
right.
and that equates to actual violence. I don't agree. Okay.
And
so,
no one would say that walking through an alley.
through an alley with two other guys.
Right.
It's like, hey, I look outnumbered, and of course, with the least popular opinion in this alley, let's roll the dice.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Let's see how 4 fists do versus 2.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something else they were demanding: to recruit trans people, especially BIPOC, for leadership roles in the company and to promote an inclusive environment for them. Look, there are already quite a few people of color in executive images. In executive positions.
What
Top
about
right.
the guy at
What
the
is
bottom right, though?
Well, he's gay.
Ah.
How do you know?
Gay face. So we've got
that.
Patel, Vice President, Strategy, Planning, and Analysis. Bela Baraya, Vice President, Global Television, also one throwing the plate. Bazoma St. John, Chief Marketing Officer. Spencer Wang, Vice President, Finance and Investor Relations. Of course, I'm him with the NIH. Gina Hospiler, Vice President, Partner Engagements. Mark Uracheko, VP Strategy, Planning and Analysis. The point is here, there's plenty of representation at the top. And by the way, I don't really care. I care about who's best for the job.
Exactly.
LGBTQ, AAIP are incredibly overrepresented. If we're going to play the numbers game where we need 12% of black people to make up exactly 12% of all programming because it needs to match the country at large's demographics. Well, you're talking about, up until recently, 2% of the population who represent sometimes as low as 14. That's the lowest I've seen couples on screen. And as high as 25%. If you were aliens and you landed on Earth and you just went through the Netflix queue, you'd be like, it's a 50-50 shot.
Which ones do we do?
Yes. How about all of them?
Which one's the wife?
Yeah. Walking by once.
That's the last time I walk in an alleyway with you. Nonk.
Osama St. John sounds like a New Orleans dominatrix.
Well, you know what?
Is that a
correct?
girl?
She is. That is
it a
chief
born woman?
Chief Cajun dominatrix. Yeah, I got it wrong.
Wow.
My bet. Is she a woman though? I'm not trying to be a jerk.
You know what? There's no way to avoid
Can't
it.
ask, Dave.
I can't.
Can't ask.
You can't ask.
So there was the walkout, and the Netflix CEO, of course, he came back and he tried to sort of soften his stance.
Penis.
And tried to soften his stance on Dave Chappelle, but he said that he was still going to keep it up. And, they wondered how the dynamic was going to play out between the CEO and the executives and the people who walked out. And the truth is it was mostly peaceful outside of the, the bear trap with a butcher knife and a pair of fake tits in it, which worked like a charm.
Wow.
So
Weird.
It worked, though.
Treats! Ow!
Oh no! Another one.
Gonna have to chew that arm off like a badger.
Look, do what you got to do.
And track down the huntress. I don't care. So Tuesday, also the Chicago Sky. I know you're thinking not the thing, the WNBA team.
Oh,
yeah, Chicago Sky.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've only heard of one of those things.
Yes. They celebrated their first ever WNBA championship and they had their wonderful homecoming parade.
Well, no. I don't. That's Steven, that's not them. I think that's the NBA champion Toronto Raptors parade.
Oh, is that?
That's their championship.
That's Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, so that's a different parade. Let's.
Do we have do we have the clip of the Chicago Sky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is man. Woo! Excuse me, it's ma'am.
We are the champs.
I've done open mics at Rotary clubs with more people.
I'm so sad for them.
You could get a pro-cancer rally bigger than that.
But look, and let me be clear about
3 of those are just tourist bus.
Yeah. they just were like, if we follow them, it'll look like more.
Yeah.
The only time that the WNBA requested more police presence. Yeah. Like, who's kneeling now? If we didn't want to defund, I don't know. Our budget won't let us. We're not professional seat fillers. Look, this is the point here is when, just like I've said, remember Fight for 15, which is no longer relevant. They'll fight for 20 because of rapid inflation, which we'll get to in a second. And you go to a fast food drive-through and they somehow get it wrong with the fillet of fish, like they forget the fillet of fish. I say, Fight for 15. In this case, think of Fight for equal pay in athletics. Look, it does come down to the bottom line. You're putting butts in seats, and it's not fair. This is the way with a lot of sports. Not always the champions put the most butts in. Look at the Detroit Lions.
Did the Detroit anything?
Yeah, they're awful, but guess what? They put butts in seats, and so they keep that team afloat. This is how it works. It's the same thing with combat athletes. Conor McGregor draws more than if you guys don't know who the champion is in that division right now. The interim champion is Dustin Poirier, who just beat Conor McGregor, but Conor McGregor is going to draw more people. It's the same thing with the WNBA, and here's the reason that women's sports, the reason women's sports will never draw as much as men's sports, just to be clear, when people say sexism, I want to honestly just explain to you what it is. For the same reason that male models will never make as much. You might have the exception, like the Billy Zanes of the world, but as a general rule, the most beautiful people in the world are women. Women are more beautiful than men.
By far.
By far. More women find women aesthetically pleasing. And I mean heterosexual women can recognize that. Then we're talking about men. Female models make more, they're more famous. Why? Because we want to see the best. Look, even if you're the best female team at whatever it is, soccer, basketball, of course we can't even compare contact sports. What happens is you're the best, but you're still not as good as a junior high school team of boys. People aren't interested in watching women's sports for the same reason that minor league ball doesn't fill up the stadiums the same way. That's exactly what it is. That's all it is.
It's all about the product. And I don't mind these things existing. I mind things being forced down our throats. I mind going on to ESPN and they're like, hey, did you see who won the WNBA championship? And I'm like, how many times do I have to tell you I don't want to see that?
Yes.
That's like you're Seth Meyers. That's the equivalent. I see that every time I go on ESPN and I'm like, WNBA again? I've never even clicked on the NBA.
Yeah, but we planned a parade with all the excitement of an ambulance with a dead body.
Woo! There were more
Honestly,
there actually was an ambulance with a dead body. They were just like, well, I guess this clears that, there are no cars on this road. So
no, there are funeral processions that are 10 times more exciting than the parade.
Yeah, when Harold and Maude went on their getaway, there were more people.
Yeah.
It's so terrible.
By the way,
in an elevator with more.
Yeah, I know. And then they coughed, and then we all got COVID.
Hey, good job, though.
Killed a lot of people.
Follow us on Instagram and on TikTok, by the way. You can follow me there. I don't know how long we'll be allowed on TikTok. It's like a game of cat and mouse, but, Chi-Com's and banning me.
Yeah.
And then the best way to tune in, if you're watching on Rumble, is it's a live show, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back on YouTube on Monday. And, of course, Mug Club, you get an extra hour show. Today
Smash it.
It's Chat Thursday, so we'll be
that's
taking
right.
your chat for about at least 40 minutes afterward. We take a live chat. Smash the Rumble button. Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, we have to get to this really quickly, was announced that was trans.
Oh, so she's just like her mom.
I don't know. It's a rumor.
Is that not a rumor?
It is a rumor.
I thought it was confirmed.
No, it's not.
She was not born with both.
No,
pieces.
it's a rumor.
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
So they announced a few days ago that Jamie Lee Curtis was I don't know, the daughter was trans, but now they just did the reveal, right? This is the big reveal.
Huh. Never would have guessed.
And to show solidarity with Netflix protesters, Jamie Lee Curtis announced Michael Myers that will now be more inclusive for the LGBTQ AAIP community. Yeah, it's the new,
Oh, good.
It's a new Halloween 18 estrogen kills.
Except now, when he kills people, you're like, it's fine, just let him do it.
Yeah, just let him.
No,
absolutely.
He's being brave.
Yeah.
He's expressing himself.
He just wanted access to the women's restroom.
Right.
And now his...
Michael Myers, I see what you're doing. It's bold.
You know, that would scare me more.
Yeah. If I walked home to that with dim lighting and Alice Cooper's Only Women Bleed, I wouldn't pull this sheet up. Quit playing around, Derek.
Yeah. Oh, no. He's wearing my skirt.
My God, one, too.
He mean what he say.
Oh, he's a sociopath who knows not to pick the knockoffs from the closet hangers. That's the most dangerous kind.
He finally talks. He's like, what you want to do is open up the house.
Yes.
Make it one big room.
Yes.
Let it flow.
I'll show you how to use mirrors and create the feeling of more space.
Yeah. You know that closet you always hide in? It could be bigger.
It could be bigger. Have you considered a walk-in? Oh, my God, he's wearing my Chanel. Is Chanel clothing or just perfume?
I think they do both.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
We need to get Michael Myers
Channel.
here. He can educate us.
He can. Now I'm going to have to kill you, though.
It's Michelle.
She can.
She, Michelle Myers.
It is ma'am.
Now I want to make the movie.
He has no balls now. No dick. Gosh.
He was committed.
You have like a Donald Pleasance character. It's like, you just don't understand. Once we figured it out, it's worse than we thought.
That is the face of pure evil.
Lady pure evil.
Yes, Lady Evil.
Specifically.
No.
It's like Jason when they brought his heart back. It's like, oh, we found his penis. This is
Here it is, the evidence.
He's Jewish. Oh, wow. Turns out it's just a moil resurrected. We didn't know.
This brings him back, though.
He did not have a good track record as a moil.
Pulls out that giant knife.
Yeah, so he just shows up and so we could just go through every single horror theme song at this point. Thanks, Carpenter. And Elfman. All right, so look, while we're talking about this Biden, the Biden administration, okay, Rachel Levine, this is something I talked about yesterday, and a lot of people said, why does this matter? This is possibly the most important subject of our time, the idea that men and women cease to exist. And obviously we like to have a laugh about it because otherwise, once you dive into it, look, let me touch on something really quickly here before I go in. We've just sort of whitewashed things. Like we've talked about this in our Bible study, an affair. Well, an affair in French it almost translates directly to thing.
Yeah.
It's like when you think of the severity of what an affair is, right? Cheating on your wife, what that does to your marriage, right? You really are destroying your wife's heart or your husband's heart if you do that. It's a big deal. When you think about it, think of how you would actually feel. Okay, think of the person you love right now, those who are married. Think of how you would feel if they cheated on you and they were in love with someone else and you found out. Picture you're sitting on your kitchen chair or you're sitting in your living room on your living room couch, right? Think of what it can make you sick to your stomach. If you're parents, think about your children. You know, if you ever actually think about them being harmed when you hear some of these stories, it makes you sick. I want you to genuinely think about what we're discussing here. When we are discussing modern transgenderism, think about what it would take. For the men out there, what it would take for you to go through with chopping off your penis and testicles. I want you to think of think of how disturbing that actually is. Think of what kind of a mental state you would have to go through. Women sewing up your vagina and attaching an apparatus, and depending, you may never achieve sexual climax again. Let's stop whitewashing this and think about what we are discussing when we say flippantly, or the left does, 8-year-old trans.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So let's set that stage. On Tuesday, Rachel Levine was sworn in as a 4-star admiral, and the U.S. Public Health Service Commission. Anyway, it's the second highest ranking. It doesn't matter. It's the second highest ranking. I don't even know how this exactly happened.
Right.
It's a difficult process, but just so you know, I'm not making it up. Here's the swearing in of the admiral.
So help me God.
So help me God.
God, huh?
Welcome, Admiral Levine.
Help
Would
me,
you like
God.
to say a few words?
Yes, please.
She looks like Ned Beatty joined the Village People.
Thank you very much for
What's the
entrusting
Y
me
in
with
YMCA?
this role. I am honored to serve as the first female 4-star officer of the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps.
Okay. Now, first off, if it doesn't, right now when you're watching this, and we wouldn't be able to see this, and this doesn't come from hate. It really doesn't. I would treat Rachel Levine if Z were in this studio, because I won't be able to get it right if I try. You know what? I watch it, and the reason I'm saying he is because that looks like a man, and that sounds like a man. Let's be very clear.
Right.
You put on the hat, and you put on the suit. There's nothing left because there's no dress. There's no dress. It doesn't look like a woman. Let's be very clear about it. Even if you met the most beautiful woman, if I had met my wife, beautiful, and she had a voice I'd be like, wow, you're gorgeous, and then talked like, I'm like, what the hell is going on?
What is happening?
That's not what I expected. Okay, it doesn't look like a woman, and it doesn't sound like a woman because Rachel Levine is not a biological female. That's the term that was used for a long time, right? The argument that you have all heard is gender and sex are separate. That's the fundamental basis for modern gender theory. When I did the Change My Mind, you may not remember this, every single person came up and they were smuggling. Oh, you don't know the difference between, so let me guess, you think gender and sex are the same, but they're separate, right? Every single person, that was their argument. Okay, so.
What did she put her hand on to get sworn in as?
I think it was a day planner.
Well, it was.
I think it was Stephen King's It.
Yes.
By the way, not the second highest ranking official, the highest ranking official.
Oh, the highest ranking official. Sorry, I was saying it's the second highest rank. I don't know. I don't know. The point, I don't care how many stars.
It's
it
a
doesn't
show.
matter. But
Could
no,
you
you're
say
right. She would no. Look,
first
to be fair,
trans?
Rachel Levine was putting her hand on the Bible. It was just hollowed out like Shawshank.
It's like a 2-page Bible.
More of a Bible-shaped safe, really.
Yeah.
So
filled with a groomer.
yes. So the Biden administration, the DHHS, they issued a statement declaring Levine the first female 4-star admiral. Admiral Levine now serves as the highest-ranking official in the USPS HS Commissioned Corps, and its first ever female 4-star admiral.
Huh.
And I'll get to other news service because I thought maybe people made a mistake. Maybe the official administration made a mistake.
Right,
Maybe
yeah.
Levine,
Said
in
the wrong
addressing
thing.
Z's self, made a mistake.
Yeah.
I'll get to why it's not a mistake. Now, remember, and in case you've forgotten, the trans argument, let me show you. These are from educational videos. One is from Bill Nye, the science guy, right? And keep in mind, he's mocked people, all of you, not if you deny climate change, to be clear. If you don't believe that some arbitrary, some nebulous international accord is going to reduce carbon emissions because there are other governments, other national governments that won't play ball. In other words, he mocked people who said, well, I think the Earth could be getting warmer. I think humans could be contributing, but I don't believe that your political solutions will actually do anything. Said, you are anti-science, and I want you to remember that because he's the one teaching the science of gender and sex, along with these other informative videos and expert opinions. Here.
Kids explore gender expression, attraction before they've ever heard of a spectrum. Take sex.
Bow tie.
We used to think it was pretty straightforward. X and a Y chromosome for males, 2 X's for females. But we see more combinations than that in real life. And even for people with just 2 sex chromosomes, hormones can vary wildly. So can anatomy. What makes someone male or female isn't so clear-cut.
Today we're going to be talking about the difference between sex and gender. And you might be thinking, what? I thought those were two pretty similar things, but they're actually very, very different.
I think it's important before we get into the debate here to make a very clear distinction between the two terms gender and sex. So these two terms out there in the world are always conflated.
If you don't know, now you know. Let me give you a brief history. If you haven't watched it, change my mind. 30-something million plays. We've done a couple of them. 30-something million plays. Yeah. YouTube took money to run it as an ad and then said this is shocking content and hateful.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it worked. Enjoy the half-Asian Kraken. So, this is a modern thing. Gender theory kind of comes from this French existentialist movement. I don't want to get too nerdy with it, but let me be really clear. There was a movement that started, and I'll read you a few quotes that, sex is biological, gender is a social construct. However, up until really the 1990s or 2000s, that still was within the binary. Like, you're not technically born a man or a woman, you're born male or female, but it was you could swap. There wasn't this idea of 56 genders, right? So that's that's also very new. Before that, gender was always a grammatical term from the Romance languages, right? Languages that originate from Latin, French, I don't know if Italian, Spanish, they all, in French we have masculine and feminine for nouns.
Even German has gendered language.
Okay, so now I understand. You speak German?
Well, I took a little bit.
3/4.
I
Okay.
can't.
So
I just admire their work.
Big fan.
Yeah, no, the cars. Art. The cars. Yeah.
Mercedes.
Beamers, Mercedes. So feminist Simone de Beauvoir argued that gender socially constructed, saying one isn't born a woman, but rather becomes one. Then it evolved with Judith Butler, arguing that gender was performed and fluid rather than innate. And then you had 1955, the sexologist John Money. He distinguished between biological sex and gender as a role. For people who don't know, this is what I had to take in college. And by the way, hey, comment below if you guys read the Money studies in college. John Money had twins.
Yep.
Raised one as a boy, raised one as a girl. The idea, same, both boys. And what we found out was, well, first here, let me set this up. You were taught, and I was taught, gender is socially constructed as opposed to biological sex, right? Raised one as a boy, one as a girl. Okay, and so now you see, gender can just be a social construct. Yeah. What you didn't find out afterwards, after this was taught across major universities and colleges, was that he sexually abused the children. And he actually put them in sexually dominant positions with one another very young. Yeah. And I know, did they both kill themselves? Or I know one killed,
one did,
and then the other one died young tragically?
Yeah,
I think they're both.
We can find that out. I think both of them died. Either way, he was a piece of shit. Sorry.
Yes, John Money was a child sex-abusing piece of shit, and that was the basis for the first controlled experiment of modern gender theory. Keep in mind, it was still designed to argue to you that gender and sex are different.
Yes, but what did the boy think he was? Who was the girl?
Yes, exactly. We have no idea.
It's just disgusting because so much of it always comes down to that.
Yeah, it comes down to wordplay, and I want to get to why this matters so much, especially considering our recent YouTube ban. Look, they didn't call Rachel Levine a woman. And who do I mean by they? I don't want to say this in just sort of some generic term like CNN when they say they. Let me give you specifics. CNN, CBS, NPR, Fox. CNN. Levine is also the USPHS Commission Corps' first female four-star admiral. CBS, the former pediatrician's appointment also made her the first female four-star admiral in the United States. NPR, a bastion of balance and objectivism that we see there. Levine's appointment to the USPHS Commission Corps also made her the organization's first female four-star admiral. Fox, she was sworn in as the first female four-star admiral. So keep in in mind, what they are saying now is they are using a biological term with Rachel Levine, saying there is absolutely no difference, according to the terms that we have set out, between a biological woman and the new 4-star Admiral who played football in high school with General Milley.
Really?
Wow. I was shocked when I heard that.
No difference.
None whatsoever. You don't even play by your own rules, guys. What the hell are we supposed to do with them?
By the way, I know Dave appreciates that. The reason he's laughing is because as close to a perfect joke as the punchline is the exact same as the setup.
Yes.
That was just the setup, and it's hilarious because it's true.
Oh, there's still a joke?
Yes.
Plenty.
Life is a joke at this point.
Played football with General Milley, and then, well, now I'm the first female. Hey, women, let me ask you this. Do you really think that Rachel Levine, went through his first period?
Yep.
Went through learning what breasts were? First bra fitting? Learning what it was like when they grew up in high school? And I don't know what women exactly do, most women, but whether it's makeup, whether it's different from men. My point is you go through a whole lot that's different than men. But these are things that are unique to women. And of course, women out there, you're of the same age, first child. Hey, how about a miscarriage? Think Rachel Levine's ever been through a miscarriage?
Maybe she didn't go to prom because, she ain't got no alibi. She ugly. Well, she ugly.
You know what, though? That's less insulting to just be like, oh, yeah, she is ugly.
No,
because that's what you would say about any she.
Right.
Oh, if she looked like that, I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
You have any beers I'm going to need?
Even as a guy, though, she's no Cary Grant.
No.
No.
What a stupid world. Why can't she be the first transgender with 4 stars?
Because that's not enough.
What are they going to do whenever an actual woman
No.
Second woman
moved up there?
It'd be the second woman.
This is the reason why. For the same reason that YouTube, right, their letter written to us from their attorney, why we are off, is they said, you cannot indicate that transgender females could pose a rape threat to women.
Huh?
What if I were to say biological males? No one would argue with that. They're trying to blur these terms so much now, where it used to be gender and sex are different. Now it's, no, female. We're using biological terms. It's not an argument they planned to hold. And here's the thing. When you say that Rachel Levine played football with General Milley, the exact same as Kathy Ireland, the exact same as, take your pick, Natalie Portman, whoever. I don't know that sign. Nancy Pelosi, who's on the screen right now. I'll even give you that one. When you are saying that they are the exact same now as far as sex, biologically, well, guess what? It's absolutely hate speech to say that that's not true. To say, well, biologically a male. No. It used to be you could say biologically a male and you could say transgender. Guarantee you in a few years' time, you're not going to be able to say biological male. Male, female, they're not going to make the argument at all. At all. In 2 years' time. You can call me to the mat on this. 2 years' time, the mainstream argument will be that sex and gender, this is just wordplay. You can change either. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I got a yearbook picture of Millie and Levine.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh,
together.
Ah.
Oh, neither of them.
Looks like a weird Will Ferrell character.
Yeah.
It really does, yeah.
And I hate the fact, like, we're raising kids now, right? Obviously, you are, I am. I know other people on this staff, Dave. Quarter Black is prolific in that regard.
Yes.
Many.
But we're raising children, and we're fighting this battle right now. I have no idea where we're going to be in 5 years, 4 years when my son tries to go to school, and it's like they just want you to act like this is completely normal, like that this person's standing up there in front of the entire country as the first female who's obviously a man. That's just normal, and you.
Well, let's just say female, who's obviously a male, yeah.
A male, yes.
But I would still say both, female, woman. Now I'm just like, no, man. Oh, you're using a gender term. Okay, you know what? Use whatever you want, dude.
Well, the problem is once you gain this level of acceptance, then there's all of a sudden a new layer.
Right.
So it's like, oh no, we accept transgenders. It's fine in our society. Then it's like, but we want to be the first female of this. It's like, well, how about you just don't get everything you want?
Yeah.
No, they're never going to stop.
How about we stop halfway down that Christmas list?
Right. Yeah. It's fine. You got pretty much what you wanted. Equality.
Right.
Work. We have no problem with you. You're welcome in our society.
Right.
Just don't take away records from women that have worked very hard to.
You would think so. Yeah, this wish list getting a little long. Back in the 70s, they asked for an average of 1 toy or 2, Gloria Estefan. Getting a little grandiose.
Right.
Or sorry, it was Amy Grant. Her grown-up Christmas list.
Yeah.
Also, hey, Santa, give me world peace.
If that's your high school yearbook picture, you're not a woman.
No.
No offense. It's just your face.
Or female.
It's just,
we used
Is that
here's the thing,
hateful? Sorry.
We used to be able to
It's
agree
just
where we
wrong.
would say you're not a female. They would say, all right, we'll allow female.
Yeah.
But if you said not a woman, you'd be banned. Now, if you say not a female, you could be banned.
Yeah.
Well, because now you can just make up arbitrary rules of going.
Of course.
Look, if it has testosterone in it, it can be a danger to a woman.
Yes.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Well, but so the most chilling part of that letter that you received, and I read it after Bill sent it over, and I was just like, wait a minute. They included hate speech in there.
Yeah,
They
that's always
included-
broad.
No. That's the thing. Like, it can literally mean
broad.
anything. That's the it's always a wide range of time.
I don't
know. No, it literally could mean
Skirt.
anything, and it's not that they want you to stop making fun. We went from stop making fun of people, stop doing things like beating people up, beating gay kids up, or in the 90s and things like that.
Which, of
to-
course, you shouldn't
Of course,
do.
no.
not
Everybody was for that was sane, right?
Yes.
And now it's like, no, it's not that. It's that this is normal, and you can't say a word about it. You can't unless you're coming out in full support.
And by the way, doctors aren't allowed either.
No.
It's a big problem in the medical community. I don't remember who posted it just this last week. It's Substack, because no mainstream outlet, I believe, would take it, that doctors are being excluded from the studying pool. We know that young transgender individuals have increased rates of mental health issues, which is a big subject in this country until you pointed out here, that they have worse outcomes, and that doctors aren't actually allowed to advise them of these possibilities. This is something that's been going on. This is something that is well known. Follow the science, they say.
Yeah.
Well, you said follow the grammatical word game, and now you're saying, no, you know what, that's interchangeable with science. Well, you know what?
Right.
No. Rachel Levine, male, man, definitely not the first female 4-star admiral. I'm going to keep that spot reserved for someone who had their first period. I think that person deserves that honor. How about that?
Fair.
I care about that woman who hasn't gotten there yet.
Can you imagine a gynecologist right now who just walks in? It's a dude on all fours.
I did
So
that.
I just have to pretend.
I did that.
That's right.
I went with Quarter Black Garrett for
That's right.
to Planned Parenthood that I had tested positive for a pregnancy, and they could not. Which, by the way, if you're a man
So
and that
hilarious.
stick goes that color, it means you likely have
Yes.
testicular or prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they were just like, "So are you?"
I gotta go.
Yeah. They said, "So are you? Were you born a female?" I'm like, "Are you trying to deaden me?" Like, no. And they gave me Plan B.
Yep. Yep. Very awkward.
And and you know what else? I brought Quarter Black in a wheelchair just to give us some more cred.
Yeah, a little
Oh,
bit.
sure.
Yeah, and they were like, "What are they gonna do? This person is trans. This person is in a wheelchair. Just give them Plan B and send them home.
Give them what they want. Give them what they want.
They just get.
Think of how dangerous that is. What if someone who is delusional, who wants to make believe that they are
I
pregnant,
don't even know if it's dangerous. It's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Well, it's dangerous. In other words, if you were to have those same levels, I don't remember exactly what it was. We have it in the video. But if you get the same kind of a test as a pregnant woman, I don't remember exactly which hormone it was, or what exactly would change the test in your bloodstream. But it's a strong sign for a man, because you're not a woman, that you have cancer, that you have some kind of reproductive cancer. So it's unhealthy. You are now doing a disservice to trans individuals, just like we talked about with Fauci and AIDS. It's like, hold on a second. If a trans individual comes in and says, I really, 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 really believe that I'm pregnant, well, just like now you've interchanged male and female. Biology is what you believe. Let's not act like it's a logical leap for we just showed people chest feeding, right? We just showed the older brother from rock character from Moana sticking his hairy tit in a child's mouth, acting as though it was the same as the natural process of breastfeeding. Let's not act like it's a logical leap for transgender individuals to go into a reproductive clinic and claim pregnancy. And then what do? Do you not hurt their feelings, or do you allow them to leave without knowing and being advised that as a man, as a male, they potentially have some form of reproductive cancer? Ball's in your court, scientists. That's the issue.
Well,
if I was a doctor,
balls
I would just
probably aren't.
walk in there, light up a cigarette, and be like, just tell me what you want me to write. like Levine coming in for a physical, like turn your head and cough. How dare you? Like, all right, I don't know, die then. I guess
it's up to you.
It's your game.
I don't know. Seems to me like you feel good. That's half the battle. Go ahead.
Well, when it comes into the Netflix thing where everybody claims to be these allies all of a sudden of black people, but they only will use that if they need it.
Yeah. Right.
So now you have Dave Chappelle, who's made it in his career as a black comedian.
Yeah.
So all of you turn on him to get him thrown off of Netflix because you don't agree with what he's saying. The point of his special was that it is easier to be a transgender person in society than it is to be a black man. You may or may not agree with that, but that was the point of his special.
Yeah.
But your walkout is you proving that you think that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so ironic that I don't understand how nobody grabs it.
It's it's perfect with the Netflix. What was the name of that show? Dear White People. I was trying to think of the racist name, and then I was going through the Rolodex. I was thinking of how many things Netflix has said. Did you mean to watch? Insert title here.
Have you read the recommendations thing where you're like, it's just white people are shit?
Yes.
It's under the black voices.
Yes. Yeah.
American History X.
Yeah, and when I was watching Hannah Gatsby's Nanette, it popped up and just said, "Really? Are you? You know, you're still watching? Okay."
The little paperclip guy found his way over there.
That's all it was.
If you go to an airport right now, and I will take a picture of it, and you look at the book section, every single thing is how to be an anti-racist.
Yeah.
What's the one by Ilina Omar? It's
How to Bang My Brother.
Yeah, How to Bang My Brother. Mediocre.
Not without my brother.
But it's
bang.
But it's actually.
Alfred Molina didn't return.
That was going to be the sequel, and it's like, no, we can't make that.
Sorry, continue. No, you took a picture. It's on your Twitter. For people who aren't following Landau Dave, he took a picture at the airport, and it was all just woke racist trash.
It was. I don't even know. They may have taken it down. But yeah, the one was, it was Mediocre, the dangerous legacy of white males in society.
Right.
Like, I was just looking at this, and I'm like, every book was just like, we hate you.
Yeah. And then Rachel Levine just manages to dodge all of it now. Like, I'm not mediocre. You said white male.
And you're a white dude. Like, that's the, word.
You mean the person behind me?
Yeah, you mean the person.
Where are you talking to, buddy?
Well, then if the white dude was the one that became the 4-star admiral, then you're not.
Right, exactly.
If you want us to get rid of that guy, you don't get to keep his record, bitch.
Oh, listen,
true,
you're
though.
actually the bitch.
Isn't it true, though?
Yeah.
It is, but it's
like
also
Elliot
a shield.
Page.
It's a shield for performance, right? I've talked with several people that work in big companies that are friends of mine that they talk about people all the time that they can't criticize, that they're afraid of firing. Like they're like, we can't do it because they wear clown makeup to work.
I can barely criticize Tokunawan without him blaming me for Hiroshima. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
It's
day.
like, all right, let it go.
Drop
Yeah,
it
do you want-
twice. Sorry, Tokunawan.
Oh, you want to fire me? Do you want to talk about my 4-eyed uncle?
Yeah. Okay.
Three-bald uncle?
Okay.
What are you, sir? Well, I'm a straight, white, cisgendered male.
You're fired.
Yeah.
That is not a protected class. You found the only one that is not a protected class.
Dead man walking.
Yeah.
If I worked at any corporation, I would be putting on a wig right
Yes.
now and lipstick. And I'd be like, I'm DeVette. I'm going to work here forever.
You're promoted.
Every now and then throw around a saucy remark just to let them know that you have the upper hand in sexual harassment. Like, oh, those pants are tight today. Looks like someone's happy to see DeVette.
Yeah. DeVette's here. Then I open my check and it's 30% less.
Oh. It worked.
I'm going to stay.
I'm one of them. All right.
Anybody want to see my vaginas? I'm going into the third bathroom. That's stupid. I realize I can come off as hateful, but it's not. It's nonsense. And I'm going to make fun of it because I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
You want to be trans, that's perfectly fine, but you shouldn't be able to be Admiral trans.
Admiral trans.
There's a little
Sir,
bit
trans,
of a leap.
Admiral, sir.
Sir. Can you imagine the drill sergeants now who are like, I can't even be tough on them?
No.
I don't even know what to say to him.
Yeah.
Her, they.
You ain't got horns on you.
Yeah. It's just Louis Gossett Jr. showing up in lipstick and pigtails like the Wendy's girl. Reporting for duty, Private Rachel, sir.
Bam. They.
Could you imagine Lee Ernie?
Oh, no.
Private Pile pulls out the gun and he's just like, oh, please.
Yes.
Yes.
No, it would just be. Remember all the jokes in Full Metal? He'd be like,
hilarious.
"Oh, let me ask you, Private Malone, do you fancy yourself a girl?" Yes. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Well, I will
Then
respect
right
that.
I sincerely apologize.
There's nothing there but stairs and queers, and I don't see any horns on you. Actually, I identify as both. My mistake.
You'll notice a Foot Locker if you're looking for a place to place your penis and testicles.
I'm gonna give you 20.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I apologize.
Were you about to call me a hate speecher?
Do you want male push-ups or female push-ups? I'll do them both.
Pile, clean the transgender bathroom with this toothbrush.
I'm going to cut off your balls so you can't infect the rest of the world. Sir, I've already done it.
Well, then, good.
Okay, then. Continue.
I was just checking, Private.
Congratulations. Get him.
Congratulations, Private. I'm very happy for you. And if it were not a gross violation of seniority and rank and file, I would ask you to tell me more about it over a casual dining setting. But that'd be weird.
Can we write this when I get back?
Yes. Absolutely. Guys, write down a note. Lee Ernie. That'll be an open. Lee Ernie with a transgender private.
Arlie Ermy.
What did I say? Lee Ermy?
Yeah.
Is it Arlie Ermy?
He said Ernie.
Well.
Full Metal Skirts.
Well, I mean,
I don't care. I don't have that up to ready. Okay, let's get here to debunking here. This is something, too, right now. You guys have heard this. We can't spend too much time on it, but I'm pretty sure you know why it's not true. That being said, let's make sure that we clarify all references are available at admiralscreditor.com. So Pete Buttigieg now has been trying to go on. I mean, he took some time off, so he's come back refreshed. Now, trying to point to the supply chain shortage as a good thing. Here you go.
Because demand is up, because income is up, because the president has successfully guided this economy out of the teeth of a terrifying recession.
Okay, a couple of things. Can you actually play the next clip? Not the truck clip, but the next Pete Buttigieg clip. I think it might be clip I or clip H. Sorry,
if you think about those images of ships, for example, waiting at anchor on the West Coast, every one of those ships is full of record amounts of goods that Americans are buying.
Record?
Yeah. Did we just replay the same clip twice?
No.
Oh. It's him saying the same thing twice in a different way. Okay, so here's something that they're just trying to. Let me just cut this. This is nonsense. Why he's trying to say, oh, Hossing, it's because the economy is booming. No, look, it's only compared to the pandemic levels when you're talking about 2020. Right. It's not anywhere near compared to what we're discussing before the pandemic levels, where the Democrats ensured that we absolutely had to crash the economy, which they want to do now with another stimulus bill. Let me simplify this for you really quickly. They're just saying $3.5 trillion, and Biden says it'll cost $0. Fine, then I don't make it $20 trillion. How did you find out that $3.5 trillion is the exact penny that you can spend with it costing $0? Aren't you the ones bitching about how the rich find ways to hide their taxes anyway? I mean, is it just me? How did you get $3.5 trillion? It'll cost $0. Also, how are you going to do it? Well, we're going to tax and printing money. Oh, you can print it? How about you don't tax me anything?
It's much.
It makes no sense. But
the postage.
The economy.
That's a good point, actually.
I just don't understand. Like, we're going to increase your taxes 14% in businesses. I don't know. Well, we wanted to increase it 12%, but we'll accept 9%. But we're still even though all of these variables have come into play, we're still confident it will cost $0. Thank God I have my graph calculator for the cosine.
Think about how much a dollar gets taxed.
Yeah.
Like it's taxed in your paycheck.
Taxed in the business.
Yep.
Then it's taxed individual income.
When you buy something.
Right. And then when you buy something.
And then that business is taxed.
Then if you invest it and that makes money, you're taxed again.
Yep.
Then if you die, it's taxed again.
It's taxed again.
So anywhere from, depending how you look at it, 5 to 7 times. When is it enough?
Right. Well, and I love how he assumes that companies are having this conversation in the boardroom. Well, guys, it looks like there's a 10% tax, so we're going to make $100 million less. Well, that dims the brakes. I guess we're just going to make less money.
It was a good run while it lasted.
How about $3.5 trillion? Oh, how'd you get that number? Well, because that would fix any problem.
Yes.
It fixes all of it.
I mean, if we weren't the ones with the money.
Well, that's enough to buy the votes of everybody we need come next election.
Yeah, so let's look at the numbers really quickly when they say, oh, it's the economy booming, that's why we have this shortage. Before, right, let's look at 2019 stats. 3.5% unemployment, 5.9% black unemployment. The median income grew under Donald Trump $6,000. I used to use the number was about $5,000. Actually, it was closer to $6,000. It grew $1,000 under 8 years of Obama. For context, just to give you some context, all references available. I want you to go, and I want you to read more about this context. Let's compare it to now, 4.8% unemployment, 7.9% black unemployment. We have 4.3, just so you know, 7.9 is higher than 5.9, higher than 3.5. 4.3 million Americans quit their jobs just in August. Wow. They admitted that it was a horrible jobs report. Now, look, I'm not even saying that these are awful numbers. The point is, when they say the shortage is due to a record economy, no. We had a better economy and nothing close to shortages. So that doesn't hold water. Do you understand the difference in the point that I'm making? Not that it's the worst economy we've ever had. It's pretty shitty, but it certainly isn't the reason for the shortage.
Well, it's not as good as Donald Trump when he was giving his speech to Congress on State of the Union, right?
Right.
His speech at that time, this economy was not nearly as good. And that's what they're saying right now. It's like turning off a faucet that's flowing at 100% and then going, oh, no, I'll just turn it back on. It only flows 75%. You're like, I did it. See? Water's coming out. That's exactly what Biden's doing right now.
And by the way, the only booming economies, they're all red states. 8 of the top 10 states with the lowest unemployment, red states. 10 states with the highest unemployment are blue states. Sorry, with the lowest unemployment, 8 out of 10 are red states. Top 10, all blue states. Just to be clear.
Wow.
So that's also shifting the bell curve there a little bit. Let's be clear. We've had much better economies, no shortages, and by the way, the only reason that it's not the shittiest economy is because of red states. Guarantee you, if you were to take the economic numbers out of places like, say, New York, it would be a very different picture. But you're welcome. Texas is a kid in the class who studied for the test.
Everybody's like,
He's the Asian kid in math class. Sit next to him. Cheat off him. All right.
It's also stupid. It's not even a dripping faucet. It's like turning off the faucet and then taking an upper decker in their toilet.
And unhooking the chain won't be needing this.
There you go.
That'll smell.
Enjoy your country.
Corn again?
I just can't believe, like, no one in the media just goes, when Pete Buttigieg comes out and goes, oh, the reason for all the shortage is because of this, this is the best economy. This is a crazy booming economy. That no one just goes, okay, hold on. No one in the press room.
Yeah.
I just want to see this once. And in the sea of heads, right? Thousands of heads. Just, huh? No one? No one?
Everybody just accepts it and moves on like this is reality.
Got to have a PhD in poli-sci to ask that one? Okay.
Well, I love how he said there's a record number of, like, what record?
Yeah, also the first female 4-star admiral,
Well,
let's be clear.
But, I mean,
getting a little murky on the rule book.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a record amount of cargo sitting off port. You mean because we don't have enough people that want to work because you killed the jobs?
Yeah.
They can't unload the
Well, here's what he tries to say, because now Pete Buttigieg fancies himself an economist.
Oh, he does.
So let's hear what Milton Friedman himself has to say. Gay Milton Friedman.
This is the clip we played.
Yeah. This is what? This is
the clip.
Yeah,
the second clip we played.
This is clip F about the ships at California ports. That it's just a sign. The bottleneck is a sign of. It's just a sign of increased demand. Here.
If you think about those images of ships, for example, waiting at anchor on the West Coast, every one of those ships is full of record amounts of goods that Americans are buying.
Okay, so it's the same clip from
Who's
earlier.
buying it?
Yeah. So
who is buying it?
The reason for a massive labor shortage right now is, of course, COVID policy. Right. We're talking about it's. You need to understand both supply and demand, and right now there's a lack of supply. And this is where people, now if you keep lying to people, don't blame them for becoming conspiracy theorists, because then people will say, well, wait a second, Fauci lied about the gain of function funding. And wait a second, the Chinese government lied about COVID. They actually accused they accused American troops of creating COVID. So many lies. And then they said Donald Trump was being racist, and they seem to have gone to bat for China. And it seems now increasingly like China was aware, and this is the reason that the international economy is shut down. And the United States, they're lying because they're all controlling it, and they're trying to drive the economy into the ground and drink the blood of children. The point is, everything outside of that last part is within reason.
And the last part.
But it just depends on where you are.
Well, it's like, supply and demand. Where's the supply? It's on that boat.
Yeah. What's a boat? Well, I thought it was Fire Island. Oh my gosh.
Americans
Bruce Valanche is
buying
going to be pissed.
I don't know. I mean,
send him out there in a rowboat.
Let's all just pretend like that's great, Pete. How's your C-section?
It's healing well.
Get that
My nipple's a little sore, though.
Pregnancy body back.
That's what we call it. Their worst stitches.
We chose to put somebody in office who doesn't. He was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana,
and he was and his greatest qualification for that was being the only gay person in Indiana.
Well, that's
not the only.
Well, one of the most prominent.
Yeah,
we'll see that. But no, listen. You basically, this is not a new problem for them, right? This is not an issue that they didn't see coming. Do you remember what he was saying? It's going to take time to get the economy turned back on. We're going to have to stay on top of it because there's a lack of supply. This has been going on for months and months and months and months, and all of a sudden he's surprised that there are things sitting off the coast that have goods on them that can't get ashore.
I just want to see the children's book, Gary's Most Prominent Little Gay.
I just want to see.
Certainly.
I just want to see a clip of him becoming the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and then just cutting to Charles S. Dutton clapping. Because that didn't happen.
Gosh,
I'm shocked that he was the mayor of that city, though.
I'm shocked that he's anything. I'm shocked that he's matter. So here's the thing. Normally, ports would be able to meet this demand. Let's be really clear. That's something that should be self-explanatory. Social distancing, cut numbers of workers in California ports. The Democratic bill AB-5 removed 70,000 truck drivers, just to be clear.
That's insane.
There are also, here's a clip, just so you don't hear it from us, that there are many, many containers, by the way. So even now with shortages, you would think, okay, so now Pete Buttigieg has lied about this, just saying, well, it's just about Americans wanting it. So you go, well, no, hold on a second. There was a shortage of supply, and now there still also is some supply. So in other words, what's the reason for the bare shelves? It doesn't seem entirely like supply right now. Oh, wait a second. We also see a shortage of 70,000. We're talking about truck drivers. Is that what I just said? Was it 70 or 40,000? 70,000 truckers laid off. Okay, so it means that you don't. Well, wait, hold on a second. Why aren't they getting through at this point? Because just get more truck drivers and their supply. Well, no. Now there are still actually these giant tanks with containers with nowhere to go.
Supply chain crisis is now spilling, as you see there, into nearby communities.
Well, CBS 2's Rachel Kim asked the Transportation Secretary about possible solutions.
As the supply chain bottleneck at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach continue to leave few places for empty shipping containers to sit, they're spilling over and now waiting in surrounding communities, sometimes along residential streets like this in Wilmington.
Okay, so let me just rattle off a couple of quick numbers. There's only one possible truck driver for every 9 trucks needed right now. Trucks themselves are 46% more expensive. Look, this is just...
Bums are having sex in them.
Yes.
They're just going to start stacking them up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
What about the trucks? Well, 7 out of the 8 have bums having sex in there too.
That's the supply.
Have you seen them? They have beds.
It's a mystery.
There's also plenty of iPhones for them to go around for some reason.
Yes.
Somehow.
I don't know why. Also, we have a surplus of footage of said bums having sex in the containers and trucks. Really, we have too much of a good thing.
It's a genre.
I feel like we should find the worst transportation secretary in history and give him the job back.
Oh,
other than Pete Buttigieg, like find who was the worst one before this. You're back in the office. Make it happen.
How does he continue to have a job if he before said we are going to have a crisis? It's going to be hard to turn the economy back on. Then he takes off 2 months.
Yeah,
and
all this happens, and then he comes back and he's like, "It's booming."
Yeah.
It's
like, what about when you said that? What about when you said that it would suck? Yeah, did I say that? Well, it seems like you were right for once. No,
I've got a baby to suckle.
This is exactly like Bernie Sanders saying that bread lines are a good thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine leaving your job for 2 months and it gets better? And you're trying to figure out what's the common denominator there.
I really don't know. That's weird.
And what's funny is people didn't notice. Now, they didn't. It's not that they didn't notice because things were going well. It's that they didn't notice because everybody looked at these problems and were trying to find a way to solve it, and never once did it occur to them to ask Pete Buttigieg. That's the issue. They weren't like, oh my God, there's a labor shortage. 70,000 trucks are laid off. Sweet Lord, someone get Pete Buttigieg on the phone.
Get the former mayor of a 250,000 person town. He'll know how to solve the problem.
He's on maternity leave.
Slap that baby off his hairy, peckless nipple and get him in here. Bring me Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
He might be an outlaw and he does things his own way, but by God, Buttigieg gets things done.
Let's go, Buttigieg.
Like, take weird pictures of an engagement on swings that are just too gay for gay people. Did you ever see some of those photos? Even a gay dude's like, come on, guys, settle down.
That's what you fail to understand about Pete Buttigieg. He's the greatest fake-out artist in military history.
Yeah. Which one's
when
the wife?
When he lays it on too thick, that's just what he wants you to think.
He walks away bow-legged and then normal like Kaiser Sose.
Yes.
It was him all along.
I couldn't believe it. He's been faking the anal.
And then, so this is the thing. No, he was stopping a speeding train.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Here's Psaki, by the way, saying that we should effectively use the pandemic. So it's not a conspiracy when you hear them when they say the quiet part out loud saying, well, you know, basically we're going to make the most of this pandemic to fundamentally reset our economy. Here she is.
So the president doesn't prefer then one avenue or the other?
The president wants to make fundamental change in our economy, and he feels coming out of the pandemic is exactly the time to do that. And if we don't do it now, if we don't address the cost of childcare, to go back to Josh's question earlier, if we don't address the climate crisis, if we don't ensure that universal pre-K is a reality now, we're not going to have the same opportunity to do it for some time.
He wants to fundamentally change the economy, right? And this is a great opportunity to do it. Now, again, we're talking about the fact that it's not making the most of a worse situation. This is why a lot of Americans feel that they've been obviously left out in the cold. It's not making the most of a worse situation like you had no warning. Like, they were doing gain of function research on coronaviruses at the Wuhan coronavirus lab. We couldn't have known, right? It's not like it's something that you couldn't have possibly foreseen, and it's not like there weren't measures that couldn't have been taken. Namely, also making sure, for example, that we had strengthened our manufacturing capabilities here in the United States. Look, if you're going to call yourself a country, you do, and I think this is made very, very clear to the United States, that in some kind of a global conflict, we don't have the ability to close our borders and be self-sufficient. That's a problem. Now, the solution isn't just handing power over to unions and demanding more wage. The solution is trying to figure out how to improve our manufacturing, because American manufacturing isn't really up to par all the time either. So let's be really clear about that. But when she says, look, this is a good opportunity to fundamentally change the economy, well, just think of one, but that's fundamentally change the economy. What does that mean to the 70,000 truck drivers laid off in California? Do you think that they're just going to go, oh, I guess we have to fundamentally change the economy? What about the millions of more black men unemployed now? Went from 5.9 to 7.9. Do you think they're going to say, oh, I guess it's just fundamentally changing the economy? You just say this broadly, we're going to fundamentally change the economy. And here's the thing. You throw around, I think that the left has become so oblivious to it because they throw around numbers like 3.5 trillion. How much is that going to cost? $0. Look at the scale at this point. So to them, 70,000 jobs, 500,000 jobs, 4-point-something million jobs ain't going to mean all that much to them. And so you are a useful pawn to them to fundamentally change the economy. And like I'm saying right now, and I know we probably wouldn't be able to say this on YouTube, I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories in general. Why? Because the general question for me, a litmus test with conspiracy theories, is how many people have to be in on it, right? Area 51 is a good example where it's like, okay, hold on a second, the janitor, they're not going to tell any, this just doesn't make any sense. But when you're talking about right now, what are we looking at? Okay, the entire economy, the American economy, those 70,000 truck drivers, I'm just using that as an example so you put a face to it, but 4-point-something million people going on unemployment right in the month of August, a horrible jobs report. I want you to just think, okay, what was required to get to that point? You can count the decisions on one hand. Gain of function, not shutting down the borders, taking China at their word, and lying to Americans about the science and silencing anyone who argues with the science. Then all of that, and obviously there was more decisions in between, there would be subsets, that's enough to take advantage of this opportunity and fundamentally change the economy. There you go, Americans. To the left, to the Democrats today, if you feel like you've been left out in the cold, that's because they're willing to. You're simply collateral damage in the necessary process of taking advantage of this opportunity. All right, this is where we would tell YouTube, I know you're watching on Rumble, we're going to go do Chat Thursday where we take your chats, but this is where we would usually tell YouTube to, go ahead with your Eco Alliance buddies and piss off.